So first of all, you're going to need to make your comp. I'm just naming it of the tutorial, of course. I don't need that much long text, but I'm going to get back to that. But you're going to need two things. You're going to need your footage that you're going to need, and then you're also going to need to have a image texture, right? Your footage folder. How do you import it? If you don't know, just drag and drop. It's that simple. And then image texture folder, right? You got your texture. Okay. We're not going to need this comp, but I'm just going to do that so you make quicker the size. And then, yeah. Okay. So now that we have that, we have our footage. You can title it like image texture, right? It's good to have organized workflow. It's just easier. Okay. So now, right, I just have a clip from Black Ops 2 campaign, very simple. Nothing too crazy. Okay. So now what we want to do, right? We want to make sure we have full, right? Okay. And then just do track camera and make sure, then you just wait for it to track. Okay. So we came into an error with the footage right here, but you see there's data right here, right? We want it over there. So what we're going to have to do is, right, we're going to switch. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we got a camera. That's what we need, right? Boom. Okay, so classic 3D. We don't want that. All right, we want advanced. Okay. All right, so you see these parts right here where they are. You just want to cut these out, right? This is where the tracking is going to start, right? And then it stops, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So this portion right here is all tracked, right? All right, just select this. Select the portion where it has as much data as you can. So it has the areas, tracking and whatnot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a null and camera. Okay, so boom, we have a camera, right? So just get any font that you want. I'm just going to use HK Grotesque. It's a good font. You can get it on Font Squirrel. I'll put the link in description for what you can get. And yeah. I'm just going to pick something like this. Okay. And then I'm just going to write like 3D tut for short for tutorial. So let's just do that. Okay. And so now let's make this a 3D object. And the good thing about Advanced 3D is it's going to allow us to make 3D text. Okay. So you see down here, you go down here and you have extrusion depth. Now you have 3D text, just like that. All right. And now I'm going to be showing you guys, this is where your image texture comes into play if you want details, you know what I mean? So here's the texture. We're going to do a track matte. Yes, we are looking for track matte. That's what we're doing. Okay. So now that it's under, we want 3D text. Boom. Now you have a texture. I don't really like the way it looks. So you have that, right? Now what you can do is this, right? Now you put it on top, but it's still the same thing. So it's still working, but you still have the bottom text. So the good thing is you go back to the text, right? Right. And you change the color. So, right, let's just do red. And so now that we have this, boom, now you have texture and color. So now that you have your text, now let's track. Okay, so let's hide this camera. And let's use this. This is what we have. All right, and then the track null, right? So now that we have the text, right, it's going to have 3 position things. So we're just going to press this and then Control C if you're on Windows. I think it's Command C if you're on Mac, I believe. Yeah, I think so. and then press P for the position, and then Control V, copy and paste. So now you have text that tracked. So hide this stuff, right? All right. And now you have text that tracks with the motion. You're basically done now. Whatever you plan to do, this is just a basic tutorial to get your foot in the door in terms of familiarity with 3D camera tracking and 3D text without plugins. I know there is Element 3D. I'm going to make a tutorial about that very soon and show you guys how to do that too. But this was just a thing I wanted to show. And yeah, this is LTMP Visuals, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.